are live. Let's get y'all some man BL Saint. Welcome. I really want to know podcast, man. Happy Wednesday, hump day. How y'all feeling out there, man? Yo, I apologize for yesterday, guys. I apologize. It's the end of the year and we're getting a head start on 2025. So there's gonna be times where I'll miss a show here and there or whatever because something will pop up and I'll have to be somewhere. I'll have to go take a meeting. I'll have to go do something. I know y'all forgive me. I know y'all forgive me. It is what it is. And then tomorrow, so at Trillis at Buckham, that's our buddy Joe's Gastro Pub in Ybor City, Florida, which is in Tampa, Ybor City. Once a month we do comedy there. So like the second Thursday of every month, starting this month, we do a comedy show, like open mic, and we'll book a few people to come in, just have a good time. And tomorrow's that show. So I'll probably come on early or just do a really quick show because I'm gonna have to be there, of course, to set up and everything. So I pick up my daughter and get her settled, squared away, and then I have to jump in the car and go down there and sort everything out for the comedy show. So I know you guys will forgive me because that's just life. That's how it works, man. Out here trying to make things happen. We have a lot planned for 2025. Sitting on some really cool information. Can't wait to announce. January we'll be able to announce what's going on. I'm really excited. It's gonna be a great time. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be all that. So I appreciate you guys. Just bear with me, and I'll sort the schedule out. Right, but these are good problems to have. These are really good problems to have. Today we're gonna be talking about brother Michael Sartain, man, and like why should you listen to Michael Sartain? Why should you be listening to some of these coaches? And he is definitely one that I really believe that you guys should listen to. We're going to get into one of his videos, so you'll see what I'm talking about. So let's get into it. And we are live. What's good, y'all? Welcome to the I Really Want to Know podcast, y'all. Get some indeed, man. It is a lot going on out there in the world, bro. They caught the CEO shooter. We knew that was going to happen. I thought the guy would be just some dude who, went through something very traumatic and, just went to the extreme measures so he can be heard. But it looks like we're just dealing with a young guy who has some mental issues. So, we'll see how that unfolds. And, yeah, there's a lot going on. Syria fell. Didn't even get a chance to talk about that. Assad was pushed out of Syria. He ran to Russia. Putin gave him asylum. So the leadership in Syria now is a reformed, terrorist, basically jihadist extremists. But the guy is, more moderate now. Israel has, striked the Syrian Navy and struck some other military installations while all this was going on. I understand why Israel did that. So it's kind of like the same reason the United Kingdom fired on the French fleet when France was taken over by Germany during World War II. You have to deal with it at some point. Like either bring those ships to us or we're gonna destroy them. And looks like Israel did what they believed they had to do. So there's a lot going on out there, man. And then brother Pablo. What's good, fam? I see you. He wants to know what I think about those lights in New Jersey, man. There's a lot in the news, man. You got these videos of these lights in the night sky in New Jersey, drones and all this. They say they're drones or whatever. What do I think about it? I think there are drones. I think that I don't know what type of drones. I don't know why they're there, but I think they're just drones. But if I were to put on my tinfoil hat, you could say, hey, maybe, they're extraterrestrial. Maybe, they're from a more advanced civilization who came here to Earth and is doing whatever, looking at stuff. You could say that, but I think it's just drones. I think it's just people with drones. You could do a lot with drones. You don't even have to stand there and fly them. You can program them. They'll fly themselves. All you got to do is set them up, and they come in so many different sizes. I mean, drones were a nightmare. When I was an air traffic controller, drones and lasers, like laser beams, laser lights, were nightmares, bro. Nightmares. Like just tons and tons of paperwork. Tons and tons of paperwork. So we hated drones. Drone pilots are all wanting to talk. Can we talk to air traffic controllers? No, you cannot. We are not going to talk to you. But these drones are more sophisticated. They're large. Brother Pablo was saying he thinks they're foreign. Possibly. Again, drones, you can get them from anywhere. You can have them delivered and open them up and do whatever. They could be. I would say this: if the area were sensitive enough, uh, we have countermeasures for drones. If the area was sensitive enough, and our government don't want anyone or anything uh, buzzing around, they can shut that down. There's countermeasures out there that will keep a drone from flying over a certain area, a certain radius. That technology is there. So the fact that they're flying around, even if it is, uh, you know, foreign people up to no good, the fact that the U.S. government is allowing it to happen lets you know that there's nothing really there that America is worried about. And I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But it's when it comes to that sort of thing, no foreign government is going to stand up and say, yeah, that's us doing that in America with our drones, because they know that within hours there will be a bunch of warheads dropped on their forehead. Shout out to the fat electrician. No one wants to deal with America at all. Right? When it comes to that, no one wants to deal with America. So if it is foreign, if it is foreign, if it's people from wherever, then yeah, then they're gonna disavow. Like that's not us. You're like, well, we found them with your documents. Nope, that's not us. That's someone trying to set us up. That's the North Koreans trying to set us up. But you're China. You guys are allies. So I don't know, bro. Yeah, and there's a lot of military installation, a lot of bases. If like for instance, you try to fly a zone over the White House or over the Senate, or you try to fly a zone over a drone over a former president's house, that drone ain't gonna be in the sky long. So, and they're gonna track that down. So if you're just trying to fly a drone over some, National Guard post or some Army Reserve base, or you're trying to fly a drone over parts of Fort Campbell, let's say, or Fort Knox. Well, Fort Knox, they'll probably knock it down. Fort Campbell or Fort Dix, or you name the installation. I mean, bro, they probably won't even realize it's over their reservation to begin with, because most military installations, especially Army bases, are massive. So you wouldn't even know. And then if you're like at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, somewhere, that's like the home of artillery. You're flying your flying your drone over a certain area, bro, probably get knocked out the sky just by the guys practicing firing artillery. You just want to know you're flying over an impact area, and it's just, you're actually downrange, and they're just firing mortars, and they're firing, their howitzers or whatever. So they probably wouldn't even notice it. Not that you could target a drone with a 105 howitzer or a 155 howitzer. You can't do that. But if you're flying in the impact zone, you're flying in the range, and there's a C-130 gunship out there practicing, yeah, he'll tear that zone. He'll tear the drone up. He'll tear it up. They'll knock that thing out the sky. Won't be nothing left. So I wouldn't worry about that, to be honest with you, bro. I wouldn't worry about it. Any place that's like really sensitive, the U.S. government takes care of that, above and below. Like you can't even tunnel around. They got that seismic stuff. They can hear you digging. So above and below, they're really good about protecting stuff that they want to protect. So I really wouldn't worry about it. Trump Thursday, man. Yeah, we're going to go early on Trump Thursday. We're definitely going to talk about Syria. We're going to talk about Syria. We're going to talk about the impact that the fall of Syria has on Russia and Putin. We're going to talk about a lot of that. Definitely. We'll talk about that tomorrow for sure. Trump Thursday. We're going to come on early. We won't do our normal 5 o'clock. I'll jump on at 4, and we'll do at least an hour. And then, of course, I got to go set up for the comedy show for Thursday night. So tomorrow, Thursday, we're going to be on at 4 p.m. So mark your calendars, guys. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of it all, bro. Let's get into this Michael Sartain. And this guy, man, I'm telling you, of all the coaches out there, of all the red pill stuff, all the red pill guys out there, and Michael Sartain he is red pill adjacent. He's not hardcore red pill, which I agree with his assessment there. Man, he's putting out good information. So I saw this video last week. I wanted to do this earlier, but things have been going on. I couldn't jump on earlier. He's walking around LA. Mike lives in Las Vegas, but he was in LA for an event that he was doing. So again, the events that he does and the ways that he moves and what he's doing is very effective. We'll get into that. And he's walking around, and when I was watching, it was just kind of on in the background. I look up at the television and I see that he's on Sunset. Like he's in West Hollywood. He's on Sunset Boulevard. He's in front of the Comedy Store, and he starts walking south. He's going downhill, like he's going towards Fountain. And I'm like, oh, I know where he is. I've walked those streets, millions of times. And I'm listening to what he had to say, and he was telling some really good stories. And it really, like, for you guys out there who are trying to figure it out, for you guys who are out there who are, trying to figure out why when you come across this woman and you treat her like a princess, you treat her like a celebrity, she treats you like a fanboy. She, why is it that you aren't, getting played in this manner? Well, he tells a story that we're going to listen to, bro, and all men should listen to this story. It is, like I said, like what he's doing it's amazing. He is one of the guys I tell folks, like, you really should be listening to Sartain. You really should. This is like no joke. So, all right, let's check him out. Let's fast forward a little bit. He's on Fountain. Because I know when he clipped this thing, when he did, we'll just watch it from the very beginning. Like when he did it, it was like kind of like a little teaser, and then it cut back to the whatever. But anyway, let's check this out, guys. This is why when you're dealing with women, bro, no matter how beautiful she is, you want to treat her the same way you would treat the chubby girl that you're not proud of dating, right? You want to treat all women the same. You don't want to be evil. You don't want to be mean. I'm not saying to do all that. All I'm saying is the level of interest. Like you should be the same, whether she is a legit 10 or she is a 4. Your play, your game, right? Your mannerism should be the exact same. You shouldn't be, because she's a 10, I'm going to text her more, and I'm going to respond every time she calls me, and I'm going to be there for her, and I'm going to show up with flowers, and I'm going to give her candies, and I'm going to buy a purse. If you're not doing that for the 3, you shouldn't be doing that for the 10. Right? Your game should be the same. It does not matter, because remember, all women believe they're 10s. So from their point of view, there is no difference between that 4 and that 10, that 3 and that 9. There's no difference. Men, however, don't understand that, and they go crazy when they come across a woman that they believe is beautiful. She's fine. She's this, she's that. They lose their mind. I've done it. I ain't gonna sit here and say I didn't. Most men, the vast majority of men, have fallen down this particular trap. So let's listen to what Brother Mike has to say.
And every day when I think about how embarrassing this story is that I just told you guys, every day, the only thing I can think of is how grateful I am that this actually happened to me. Because the lessons that I was able to learn from it, I'm able to keep forever and share it with you guys, so you don't have to make these same mistakes that I made. They're gonna come with you to the club. If somebody tries to accost them, or mug them, or assault them outside the club, it is your job as a man to protect them. But once they're in the club, if they want to leave with some drug dealer, it is not your job to save them. Okay, don't save them. They don't want to be saved. Guys, I want you to remember this, okay? Say it to yourself. The game is real, even if you don't want to play it.
Now, this is the part I was talking about. Like, he's going to circle back to this. He started off in the middle, and then he's going to start from the beginning and tell the story he was talking about. But the point he just made is spot on. I can't tell you how many times I've gone into, you name the club or the event, with a bunch of dimes with me. Why? We've talked about this. And this is long before I've heard of Michael Sartain or, his social game or whatever. When I was in LA, the reason I was able to get access is because, 1, I know how to talk to people. 2, I dress properly. 3, I tip. Right. And 4, I was always surrounded by beautiful women. So when I would go to whatever nightclub it was, I would get there really early, talk to the door guy, tell the door guy, like, listen, I'm on no one's list. Right. I'm not even a cool kid, man. I'm just out looking for something to do. I heard about this place. is there any chance I might be able to get in tonight? Because in LA, bro, it was crazy, bro. Like they didn't play. Like the keepers of the gate, and they really made sure that gate stayed closed. They would rather have a crowd of people outside, 20, 25 people outside trying to get in. And there's only 5 people inside because it makes it look like, oh, that's the spot, and it makes people pull up, right? So I would do that. Get there early. Bouncer would, say, hey, man, it's cool. Come back in 2 hours, and I got you. Y'all go away, come back in 2 hours. Boom. As soon as I walk up, it's a bunch of people there trying to get in. I was screaming. I'm on so-and-so's list, screaming people names, like the promoters' names and stuff like that. The bouncer would see me, wave me up, open up the gate. I walk right in. Like, just open up the rope. I walk right in. I'm not paying a cover, nothing. I would always tip him. Like, hey, man, thank you. I would shake his hand, put at least a 20 in his hand, at least that. Right. Sometimes I put a 50, depends on, how well I was doing. Right. When I was running the comedy rooms, I had a whole bunch of extra cash. So I would just slide him a little bit. And it was cool. And from that point forward, I can always show up. And then what I would do, I would always show up with a bunch of beautiful women. So now I'm cool with that bouncer. The bouncer introduces you to the promoters or to the guy who's running the door. Now you cool with him. So now anytime you show up, you in. You can come in anytime you want. He's going to introduce you to the manager. Manager's going to introduce you to the wait staff, bartenders and waitresses, and they're going to hook you up, bro. Like, so you get cool, you tip well. After a while, man, you always got a seat, right? You're getting comped a bunch of stuff. And a lot of people are like, oh, you're getting free stuff. That's one way to look at it, but you're tipping so much, it's almost as if you paid for it anyway. So I look at it as you're getting half off, right? That's how I look at it. With the tips and everything else and what you actually paid for, you basically, if you didn't have that access, you would be paying at least twice as much, sometimes 3 times as much. So you're getting at least half off. That's the game that Michael Sartain was telling folks. That's how he runs his games. Like, he'll show up to an event, he'll have legit 100 models with him. And that's what he was doing in LA. He was doing Babes in Toyland, I believe. They do that once a year. This time of year, it's a fundraiser. He brings all these beautiful women out there, these models. And bro, that works for him. Not only does it work for him on the business side, it works for him as far as finding women, because all these beautiful women are competing for his attention. They want to get at him because they see that he is the man. He is taking care of stuff. He makes sure everything runs right. People are coming to talk to him. He's making decisions. He's doing all the pointing and stuff like that. He's making sure everything is taken care of. Women find that attractive, bro. Women find that attractive. Like, man, that's a leader right there. And they're going to do everything they can to hang out with you. They want to be sitting next to you. They want to be talking to you. The smart ones start doing things for you. They start working for you. I can do that. I can take care of that. I can go get them, reminding you of stuff. Those are the smart ones, right? Adding value. The pretty ones that don't know any better, they're just thinking, well, I'll just be cute and pretty. And, some of them act like little kids, and you just, but then some of them just try to throw that Foxy Brown at you. That's what else do they have? They know they're sexy. Like, I'll just wait till this is over. We're going to go back to the penthouse and, then I'll do some sexual stuff. You got that. So you put yourself in Sartain's position. He gets to sit and choose amongst all dimes who he wants, who he doesn't want, what he wants to do. And those girls are protecting him. Those girls will say, hey, that new girl that came up from so-and-so, man, stay away from her. She's bad. She accused that baseball player of doing stuff that he didn't do. And she's, that's the girl that's trying to, run game and take people money. The other girls look out for you. They'll keep the bad actors away from you. His game works, bro. His game works 100% all the time. We got brother Michael Lee in the building. What's up, Recuse Only? Good to see you. Good to see you, fam. Good to see you. He's like pretty one DL bust down recreational use. There it is right there, bro. They all, hey man, it is what it is. If that's what you're doing, it is what it is. If that's what you're looking for, you running this particular game that Mike Sartain is running, you'll get that. So let's listen to his story about a bust down, a really beautiful bust down. Y'all got to hear this story. Let's go.
Even if you don't want to play the game, it's always real. It never goes away. Man, I'm telling you right now, my last relationship, if I stayed in and stayed at home as much as she wanted to, I would not have a business. I would have no friends. I would be fat. I would have no business. What's going on, y'all? It's Michael Sartain here again. And I'm still out here in West Hollywood. And I really, after last night's incredible event, we did Babes in Toyland and Pink Party, I had a thought about something that has really been irking me recently. And then this is the idea that the game is real even when you don't want to play it.
I'm going to pause it just real quick here. So behind him, as he was walking down the hill there, so the top of the hill, that busy cross traffic stuff, that's Sunset Boulevard. So he's basically, he was just across the street from the Comedy Store, which is where I started my stand-up career. He's walking right next to the Mondrian, where the Sky Bar is. That's as you're looking at the screen, that's to the left. And to the right of him used to be the House of Blues. They closed that down years and years and years ago, but that used to be like a popping spot. Where he is back in the late 90s, early 2000s was the Mecca, bro. Like the Mecca. Like that was the part of Hollywood, West Hollywood that, everything was popping. Everything was going on. The ropes and all that was up and down that part of Sunset. You couldn't get in anywhere without dealing with a door guy. So I just wanted to pause it right there. And there's a store like at the Comedy Store. They have this big patio right out front. People just hang out the patio, whatever, whether it's, right before the store opens or once it opens, people just hanging out, chit-chatting or whatever. But one night, some dude was sitting on the patio. As the story goes, the guy just kind of ran up, sat down, was kind of like looking around, a little nervous, right? Then some other dude came walking up, pulls out the thing, and deleted the guy right there. Sunset Boulevard, right there. Right down the street from Beverly Hills. Right there. And the guy walked down the very street, the very path that Michael Sartain is walking right now. The shooter walked right down that street. That street has it's like a dead end. It didn't used to always be that way, but they turned it into a dead end street. The guy walked down to the dead end street part. You can just kind of walk right through it. You just can't drive through it. And then allegedly got into a vehicle and drove away. I believe that case is still open to this day. That's Hollywood. That's Cali. That's why you got to keep your head up. That's why you got to keep your head on the swivel. You never know what's going to pop off, bro. This popped off West Hollywood. It's around, I think, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere between 7 and 9 p.m., somewhere in there, which it was still early. I think the sun was still up. So it's probably around 7:30. Crazy. It had nothing to do with the Comedy Store. It had nothing to do. The guy wasn't a comic or anything like that. It was just somebody was like, bro, on site type thing. That's what on site means. They saw him. Dude jumped out the car, probably told whoever was driving the car, go around, pick me up on the other side of the street. Did what he had to do, walked away. They had that part on camera, just calmly walked away. Got out of there long before the police showed up, and the police showed up within minutes, guys. It's not like it was forever. So they just wanted to give you one of my Hollywood stories. When I heard that, it's like, wow. So be careful, man. When you out here in these streets, bro, that's one of those things, man. You got to be careful, man. You got to be, up on your surveillance. Look at what's going on around you. Pay attention. You never know. So anyway, let's get back to what Brother Michael was talking about.
I just really came to some realizations. Like in the last couple weeks, I had a guy come on a call recently, and he started talking about there was this girl that he liked, and she was different, and he was going to fly her out. He'd never gone on a date with her, never slept with her, nothing. They're just messaging each other back and forth. He's like sending her gifts. And then, of course, later, you all know, I don't have to tell any of you who are fans of this channel, you know exactly what happened. She just she took the money for the plane ticket. She never messaged him back. She ghosted him. Find out later she has a boyfriend, et cetera, et cetera. You guys know. I don't have to tell you the story. And the reason why I don't have to tell you is because you know that the game is real. Even if you don't want to play the game is real. So I'm going to tell you guys a story I've never told on camera before. This would have been 2007. There was this nightclub called Fever in Atlanta, Georgia. Do you guys remember? If you guys remember Fever, put it in the chat. You guys remember. This place was only open for 1 year. And the reason why, because it was too crazy. I saw Kim Kardashian in Fever. I saw Carmen Electra in Fever. I'm pretty sure I saw Paris Hilton in Fever. This place was nuts. They spent a ton of money on promotions, and people were just getting wild. It was an old mansion, and the basement was like the nightclub. So one time I met this girl at Fever. Her name was Sydney, and I thought she was the prettiest girl I'd ever seen in my whole life. I was like, man, this girl is incredible. And the thing that was so crazy about it is, like, because she was so attractive, I was like, I understood the game was real, but because she was so attractive in my mind, I started thinking she was special. Remember, she didn't do anything to make me think she was special. She was just attractive. Have you ever done this before, guys? Have you ever gone into a situation before where a girl was just attractive and you started treating her different? if you're doing so, remember, you're telling the world, you're telling yourself, and you're telling her that she's special. But what did she do to earn this special treatment? The answer is she had big boobs. There was nothing else she did. So, I mean,
bro, how many people have done that or heard of someone who has done that, bro? I'm telling you, you meet a woman, you think this is the one, you immediately click into that Disney fairy tale mode, and you think you're gonna be with her, you're gonna sweep her off her feet, and y'all gonna live happily ever after. Man, you're gonna have 2.5 kids, white picket fence, all that. Right? So don't trip. Don't think that if you've been this guy, don't think that you're the only one. Michael Sartain's done it. I've done it. Right? You just fresh got caught up a little bit with that lady from China. He got caught up a little bit, bro. Everyone gets caught up, man. You name the person, I'm telling you, it's probably what 0.001% of men who haven't. I'm keeping it real, bro. I believe that just about every guy goes through that, man. We got Brother Pitney in the building. What's good, fam? What's good? Yeah, Brother Pablo. I think that case is still open. I think it's still a cold case. I mean, I don't know that for a fact, but I'm pretty sure that was open. And it was not as many cameras back then as it is today. But even still, look at the CEO shooter, bro. They found him on accident. They had no idea. If the guy wasn't walking around with all that evidence in a bag, right, he would have gotten away. If he wasn't crazy, he would have gotten away with all the cameras they have in New York. New York had no clue who this dude was, even though they were saying that they did. They had no clue. Let's continue.
This girl, Sydney, and I meet her one weekend. We message each other back and forth. And I was like, hey, I'll be back in town next weekend. I was a captain at Robins Air Force Base in Warner Robins, Georgia, and I would go up to Atlanta every weekend. So next weekend I went up there. She went there and she drank out of a cap. I saw her. This is how wild this club was. She drank out of a bottle cap. Those of you who remember, 15 years ago, you know what that meant. She took some GHB and she eventually sat there and she peed on herself and pooped on herself in the bathroom. And she was unconscious. And they had to call an ambulance. I called an ambulance for her because she was actually unconscious. And I'm sitting here like, okay, I got to rescue this girl. So I make sure I literally pick her up in my arms. She peed and pooped on herself. And in my mind, at this point, it's like the hottest girl I've ever seen in my life. And I sit there and I take her to the ambulance. And then I leave the club. I'm having a good time. Remember, I just drove an hour and a half from Warner Robins to Atlanta to enjoy my time at this club. I go to the hospital and I wait hours for her to get like a catheter or some shit for her to get medical treatment. And at the end, I go into her hospital room, and she's there, and she almost like looks annoyed to see me. And part of it is she's embarrassed, right? I mean, all this stuff happened to her. She has a catheter in her. She's still in her like sparkly ass dress. And I'm like, and I, hold her hand for a second. I was like, hey, I just want to make sure everything's good.
Bro, been here. I've been there, done that. Not to this extreme, but I've done that. I have white knighted. I have tried to captain save at 304. I've been here doing the right thing. Now, on the one hand, he made sure she was good. She OD'd. She's out here being a party girl, and she OD'd, and he took care of her. Didn't know her from Eve. He goes in there, makes sure she gets medical attention, gets her to the hospital. They took care of her, and he's right there making sure you're okay. Mind you, he's in the military at this point. So keep that in mind. He's in the military. But he didn't do this for the fat girl who's a 3. He didn't do this for like the average 5 that was in there. He's doing this for this woman because she was so beautiful, because she had these big fake, chesticles, and she had a pretty face, and he was just taken by her. So he decided, I am going to earn some point. I'm going to look out for her. I'm going to take care of her. And she is going to remember me because I was looking out for her. We got brother JSJD in the building. What's good, fam? Good to see you, man. I hope you're paying attention, bro, because, and again, you don't have to be mean, right? If you're going to take care of someone, take care of them. You call 911, they show up, they take her away, man, she's good. You don't have to go to the hospital and follow up. You don't know this person. You did your due diligence. You did your job. You're the good guy. You know what I mean? You did it. But Mike thought this was going to help him. So y'all need to understand how this works. Bro, good guys finish dead last, man. And this is just something that people, they hate hearing it, but everyone understands it. Right? I'm telling you, not to this extreme, but I've been there being a good guy, looking out for the woman. And the way this turns out is the same way it turned out for me. He's like, yeah, he's taking the red pill, bro. Like, bro, take that red pill, man. And here's the thing. Get up on the game, bro. You want to see the code to everything, man, not just the dating stuff. Although that's what a lot of guys are here for. They want to figure that part out. But red pill yourself on finance, red pill yourself on politics, red pill yourself right on employment opportunities, man, in the corporate world. Just so you know what you're dealing with. Get into it, eyes wide open, so you know what it is. Right. And I was thinking about that, bro. Brother Powell, like, man, I wonder who paid for that ambulance. It was probably her information. It's probably on her. But I mean, a girl as fine as this, man, she's probably getting money from all kind of simpletons, man. But let's keep going.
I'm gonna get out of here. And I was cool. And she was like thankful, but that was about it. And in my mind, I'm like, oh man, I won. She's for sure gonna be my girlfriend now. I just saved her. Not in my mind thinking, why the do you care about some girl who took a Kappa G in a club and pooped on herself? At no point did that ever cross my mind. The only thing I was thinking was, man, this girl's so hot. I proved myself as a white knight, as a savior for her, and I'm gonna win. Of course I'm gonna win, man, because the world is fair and you get what you pay for. And when you're a good person, only good things happen to you. And that was the type of Disney shit that I was thinking about at the time. So you guys already know how the story ends. I don't even have to tell you. In fact, write in the chat, write in the comments right now if you know how the story ends. If you can guess. Before I even tell you, take a second, pause the video, write in the comments how you think this story is going to end. So a week later, I messaged her like one time. She actually says thank you. I'm like, hey, I'm going back to Fever, this club again, and I'm going to bump into her. And I was like, man, we're going to be like, after that, we're like going to be together. I just know it. And I'm 30 years old. This is 17 years ago. I should know better, right? So we go to Fever, and she's there. And for a second, I see her for a second, like when she walks in, and then I don't see her again for the entire night. I can't find her the entire night. I don't know what happened to her. And I'm like, oh man, maybe she got sick again or something like that happened. Fast forward 2 days later, and this is, remember, I've told you guys this before. I started hanging out with guys who were really, really good with women. It started in Atlanta, like some nightclub promoters, and I stopped listening to pickup artists. I only paid attention to dudes who were like crushing it with women. One of my buddies, Johnny, we were hanging out. I think we were having lunch like a couple days later, and Johnny tells me, he goes, I go, what did you do Saturday night when we were at Fever? He goes, oh yeah, man, I bumped into this girl. I was talking to her, whatever, and there's some beds at the upstairs part of Fever. He goes, yeah, I took her up there and I took her up there. I was like, who was it? He goes, oh, it was this Asian girl named Sydney.
There it is right there, bro. There it is. Sartain in the spot, going to the spot, hoping to see this girl. He saw her when she came in. He's going around the club looking. Now, look, when you in a nightclub, especially back then, these clubs were massive, man. And you walking around, you could spend an hour trying to find someone, bro. Like, because back then they weren't really doing sections as much. It was just people everywhere, just massive folks everywhere. And most of the real nice clubs, what they would do is they had separate sections for VIPs, like legit sections. And, like if you were a cool kid, you would go back there and then you would see like a whole nother group of people, all dimes, all pimps and players. And by pimps, I just mean guys who are gamed up. I don't mean like real pimps, like all dudes who like, they just killing it. And there's all the dimes out there, all the cool kids, all the celebrities, all the athletes. They're like in a different part of the club. Like the average folk can't even get back there. So you would be in the club all night seeing the same women. And then when the club lets out, you go outside and you'll see a whole nother group. Like, where were them women? They were back in the VIP. So Sartain is cool with the dudes. Like he said, he was like, this is when he stopped listening to pickup artists. There's nothing wrong with pickup artistry, bro. It works. It's like anything else. It works. But the guys who have true game and the guys who have a really top tier social circle, that game is superior in my opinion. Hey, pickup works though. I ain't gonna lie to you, right? It works. But if you really want to get there, if you don't want to work as hard and you actually want to build a business and build relationships and start serious, really benefiting from your network, you got to do it the way Sartain is doing it. So think about that. He's running around. He sees the girl. He couldn't wait to come back to the club. He's in the military. He drove probably hours one way just to get there. He sees her. He's like, cool, I'm going to be able to holler at her. Because certainly she's going to, like he said, she's going to want to be with me. I'm the one looking out for her. I'm the one who took care of her. Nah, she was in the club while he was there getting her back blown out by one of his homeboys up in a little special part of the club. They still in the nightclub. They ain't leave. That's where she was. And that was probably the last straw right there. That was the one that broke Sartain's back. He's like, bro, he knew better. He was in his 30s. He already knew what time it was. He knew better. Everyone has those moments when it's like, okay, all right, no more faking it now. There's no getting around it now. The truth is just too big, man. It's just, all right, damn, that's it. That's the last time, right? That's when you start to change. A lot of dudes get to that point. Some dudes never get to that point, right? They just don't. They just keep going over and over again. But a lot of dudes, like people like me, are like, all right, man, I get it now. Like even now when I go out, so I tell you guys, bro, I ain't looking for nothing. There's nothing I want, but I just want a nice conversation. I can care less. I could care less, bro. I'm past it. My mind is somewhere else. My mission is something completely different. And I've moved on. Now, if I get a woman who's, that little Asian chick come up to me talking about she want to go up into the boom boom room and let me whatever. Okay, why not? But I'm not chasing nobody. And then when it's over, like, hey, I'll talk to her, but that's it. I'm never calling her. I'm not on her social media. None of that. And a lot of these women, bro, like, they don't even try. They don't get mad at you. They'll see you again. They'll be like, oh, hey, what's up? It's like they live in these moments. They go from moment to moment. And then once they're out of that moment, they ain't tripping. I've bumped into women, we're talking to each other, man. She starts to give me her number. I'm starting to type the number in, and then boom, the number pops up with her name and everything, address, all that. Like, oh, like this is someone I know. And she doesn't recognize me and I don't recognize her. So I'm like, wow, I wonder if my number is programmed in her phone. So I text her right away and it popped up on her phone and she had the same look that I had. She was like, oh, I'm like, apparently we've been here before. We just started laughing. She forgot about me. I forgot about her. That's the world we're in right now, guys.
Bro, you know how hard I tried to not make a face? You know how hard I tried? Bro, I saved this girl's life the week before. This dude, by the way, let me point out something else. This guy was 6 inches shorter than me. This dude meets the girl, hangs out with her one time, ends up having with her in a like a little bed. It was like a prop bed. There's a nightclub there's a club in Atlanta called Bed, where everybody, like, you got your drinks on a bed. It was like that. And this dude meets her after one day and he ends up having her, like, immediately when he meets her. And I'm sitting here, like, trying to save her ass after she pooped and peed on herself.
And keep in mind, guys, it wasn't after one full day. It's not like they knew each other. Like, he met her and a few hours later, they were smashing. That's the thing. A few hours later, he met her and in a few hours later, they were smashing. There are people out there who get down like that, man. There are girls out there who, to them, they're just having fun, man. It's just hookup culture. I don't know. It was a great vibe. I mean, I don't know. And bro, I say this, most women go out with a crew. They go out with all their girls. And, it's for protection, one, but for two, is to keep them from doing stuff that they're going to regret later, right? When you come across women, especially attractive women who be going to these spots by themselves, that lets you know what's on their mind, bro. They ready to make that happen. They are ready to make bad decisions. There's no one there to talk them out of it. They ain't out there with their girls. They in there doing what they do. And it is what it is. And there are people out there like that.
It was that moment. Like, it was a level of clarity that I needed to be reminded. Hey, what's going on, man? What's going on? Some people watch the podcast. What's going on, brother? Hey, it is, brother. Thank you. So they're sitting there. I'm sitting there, like, in shock. I put all this work in, man. And this is one of the things we say in Men of Action. It is always your job to protect your friends, but it is never your job to save them. Say that to yourself. You got some homegirls that go with you to a club and you love them. They're like your friends. You might even be attracted to some of them. They're going to come with you to the club. If somebody tries to accost them or mug them or assault them outside the club, it is your job as a man to protect them. But once they're in the club, if they want to leave with some drug dealer, it is not your job to save them. Okay, don't save them. They don't want to be saved. This was something I had to learn the hard way. And every day when I think about how embarrassing this story is that I just told you guys, every day, the only thing I can think of is how grateful I am that this actually happened to me. Because the lessons that I was able to learn from it, I'm able to keep forever and share it with you guys so you don't have to make these same mistakes that I made. Guys,
but you will. But he's right though. You don't have to make those mistakes, but you will, man. It's just I don't know if it's programmed in us or whatever. But you hear what he's saying. You got women with you, bro. That's the downside to having women with you is some could pop off, and you are gonna have to step up and do something about it. If y'all are outside moving around, some dudes come up, trying to cause some drama or whatever, being disrespectful, you're gonna have to do something about that. Now, once you're inside the spot, you in the club, you at the party, you on the yacht, whatever it is you're doing. If she wants to go holler at a dude that is grimy, if she wants to holler at a dude that is going, he's gonna do her dirty, you ain't got nothing to do with that. All right, girl, you good? You good? All right, take care. I'll holler at you. And if the dude's a real one, he don't know what he's gonna recognize you, like, yep, game recognize game, whatever you see, like, all right, he ain't no psycho, but he gonna do what he's gonna do tonight, and then boom, she's off to the next one. It's not your job to try to talk her out of that, man. It's like he said, man, like Brother Michael was right. It's not your job to save her. She should save herself. It's not your job to save her. And she doesn't want to be saved. If she wanted to be saved, she wouldn't be out there with you in the first place. Right? So just keep that in mind. She's doing exactly what she wants to do. And don't sit there and try to stop it. Like, hey, man, go ahead and do you. It is what it is. Right? So he's making a great point. So he started on Sunset. He was walking down. I forget the name of the connecting street there. I forget the name of it. Then he went westbound on Fountain Avenue. So like I said, he's in West Hollywood and he's like close to Beverly Hills. Again, I did a lot of walking in Cali because it was so many hills. Like you see, he's walking down the hill now. If you're in West Hollywood, if you've never been to California before, if you're in West Hollywood, like Sunset, La Cienega, Santa Monica Boulevard area-ish, Doheny, whatever. If you're in West Hollywood and you're lost and you're going downhill, just know you're going south, right? You're going south if you're going downhill, if you're in West Hollywood, right? Now, if you're in the San Fernando Valley, right, and you're in some of these streets, Mulholland or whatever, you're over this, and you're going down a hill, you're going northbound. Just want to give you, because everything is so hilly out there. And then of course, when the sun is setting, if you're walking towards the sun, you're going to the west. And I told it to my brother when he came out to LA, he was all over the place, man. He was like West Hollywood, man. He was down in Venice. He was like out in East LA. He was South Central. He was everywhere. I'm like, bro, if you ever get lost, just drive west. Because everything out there is on a grid. It's like, it's in north, south, east, west. I'm like, bro, if you ever get lost, just drive west. Drive west until you see the ocean and then turn right. Because I was living in the valley. I'm like, then turn right. And you'll see a cross street that you recognize at some point. And then sure enough, about a month later, he got lost. He's like, yeah, I got lost, man. I did what you said. I just started driving west. Then I started recognizing some streets. I saw the bread and I knew where I was. That's Cali, right? That's Cali, man. Like Cali that's what's up. We got brother GMC Hammer in the building. What's good, fam? I'm doing good. And I know what you're thinking, man. I'm definitely going to hit Ace up, man. It's just, I'm working on a lot. I can't wait to announce. January, we're going to announce, man. But we're working on a lot of stuff. We're doing a lot of good things. We got a spot in Ybor, bro. So like tomorrow we got a show. Tonight I got to go out and do some research, do some recon work. But we got a lot going on, man. So but I haven't forgotten, bro. I'm getting him on here. I gotta have him on the show because that was a great conversation. I look forward to finishing that conversation. We started at your party. We better finish it on this platform. But I hope you're doing well, man. Where you at, bro? I know you out there driving around. If you're north, northwest, or even northeast, really, I hope you're being careful, man. Them roads look treacherous out there, man. It is like snowing like crazy, bro. But anyway, I was just saying what I was saying about West Hollywood. And the last thing I'm gonna say about West Hollywood, we're gonna get back to Brother Michael. Bro, the cost of living is insane. And if you don't believe me, just Google West Hollywood. Like look what people are paying for rent in West Hollywood. Put in Fountain Avenue, put in Sunset, put in, Crescent Heights, put in whatever you want to put in. Right? Laurel Canyon, that's another good one. Put in Laurel Canyon and just kind of look at, get you like a rental app, and then how they put the little bubbles with the amounts of money for like the property for the units. Like where he's walking right now, he's on La Cienega going south, bro. He's coming up on Santa Monica Boulevard. Eventually, that'll be the next major cross street. Bro, it costs so much money. I would be surprised if you can get a 1-bedroom for less than $3,000 in the area that he's walking in now. 2 bedrooms would be man, 2 bedrooms are probably, I'm just making up numbers. It's been years. I don't know where they are right now, but I would imagine a 2 bedroom in that part of town, probably probably 4,000. It's probably more than that. Probably like 5. So man, it is crazy, bro. It is, cost of living out there is crazy. Like if you're bored, you ain't got nothing to do, just pull out a rental app and, like I said, put in La Cienega and Fountain and look at what it costs. And if you guys do it, put in the chat how much you're seeing for 1 bedroom, for a 2 bedroom. You got people, you might have 4 people living in a 2 bedroom. Like, maybe even 6. It depends. Like you got 2 people in the living room, like one on the floor, one on the sofa, and you got 2 people in each bedroom. Man, it's crazy. Like I don't know how people are surviving out there making $50,000 to $60,000, maybe $70,000 a year, but trying to live someplace like West Hollywood or Beverly Hills adjacent or Studio City, Sherman Oaks. Like, bro, even Van Nuys costs a lot of money. North Hollywood, South Central. You probably get a 1 bedroom in South Central, probably hit you for about $3,000. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Let's continue.
I want you to remember this, okay? Say it to yourself. The game is real, even if you don't want to play it. Even if you don't want to play the game, it's always real. It never goes away. No matter how much you want the game to not be real, it's always there. So it was very frustrating for me the other day when I heard this guy again. He was saying, I'm paying for this girl to fly out to see me, and he had never hooked up with her. I don't know if you guys remember, but Justin Waller, on his most recent appearance on my podcast, he came on there and he was talking about a guy who basically met this girl one time, hooked up with her, and then gave her like $2 million in crypto, and she stole all the money. It was a crazy thing. Go back and watch the episode with me and Justin Waller. It was one of the craziest things ever. And once he came to the realization that this girl had been lying to him the whole time, and finally came to the realization he wasn't never going to get that money back, he started crying. He started crying in our studio. It was one of the craziest things ever. You want to know why that happened? I'll tell you why. Because he thought, because of the good feelings he got, because that one time he had sex with her, he thought he didn't have to play the game anymore. I need you guys to remember this. You've been married for 30 years. If you ask guys who've been married for 30 years, you know what they're going to tell you? They're going to tell you, you still have to play the game. Rollo Tomasi calls it dread. Dread. It's not that you need to cheat on your girl, but your girl needs to think that you can. If your girl thinks that you could never cheat on her because you're so fat and such a loser, you got problems, pimp. I'm sorry to be the one to let you know. The world is not fair, guys. I need you to understand this. The world is not fair. No matter what you think, no matter how much you want the world to be fair, you will always have to play this game. And what we're looking for as men, because we want peace, is we would love to have this beautiful woman that apparently all these other men want. And beautiful women who are always, hey, there he goes. What's going on, man?
It's good to see Michael Sartain's walking the streets of LA, bro, and people know him. Like he's in West Hollywood, bro. Like, that's what's up, man. I really that lets you know that your message is resonating, is getting out there. And like I said, he's keeping it 100, man. Dudes meet women, and they stop. It's like, okay, the game is over. I won. We got married. And I do agree that men and women are better together than apart. And once you find that woman, you vet her, she's the one, y'all get married. That's what's up. But it's still a variant of the game at play. You still have to tend to your woman, bro. Joel and I was talking about this, man. That's one of the things we got in the mix, man. Like I said, we'll be ready to announce in January. But we got a lot of stuff going on. But I was talking to my buddy Joel, and he was like, man, he said it's like 13 laborers. He says it's just a random number. But, we was sitting down thinking about it. Like, it was about 13, maybe 15, maybe 10. But we'll use 13. There's 13 laborers that, the man needs to do. There's just 13 jobs that the man needs to fulfill to keep his woman happy, right? And I was like, bro, I could see that. I could see that. And a lot of dudes give up on that. Like, think about, a lot of dudes get a woman, they put so much energy and effort into like tracking her down, getting her, pursuing her, dating her, getting her to want to be with him, get married, all that. Then, have a kid or two, and then they stop. They stop. Like, she's still beautiful. She still wants attention. She still wants to be sought after. She's like, I got you now. Well, who got who? Because she's the one that's gonna win if this thing goes sideways. If she decides she wants to walk away, no fault divorce, she's the one's gonna walk away with half your stuff, bro. So why would you stop pursuing her? Why would you got her now? What? You have to keep doing your job as a man. There's things that you have to do. I'm not going to get into all those. We'll save that for another episode, like those different things. But whatever it was you were doing when you were pursuing her, you have to continue to do those things once you catch her. The game never stops. There's just different variants to the game. It never stops. And so many guys go out here, they get the girl, then they stop. Right? The dude gets fat. He stops going to the gym. He stops working hard. Right? Kind of like what Sartain was saying. Like, why? Because she's nagging him and this and that. It's like, nah, baby, you want me to stay this way. You want to enjoy this life. I got to go out here and make this money. So we can provide. So I can provide for you and we can provide for our children. Like, you're going to keep the house right. Keep the kids right. I'm going to go out here and get this money. I'm going to come back. Right? So that's part of it. You got to stay on your job. Right, you got to do those things, those 13 things, or however many it is. You gotta fulfill those. That's what's gonna keep her happy. That's what's gonna keep her there. You dealing with a woman, she's a dime, bro. She's still fine. You letting yourself go. You ignoring her. She wants this attention. She gonna get it somewhere. And now, all you got to do is look to this device. Just grab her phone, bro, and there is so much attention there. There's so many dudes willing and able and ready to give her that attention. And it goes from the phone to, just seeing the validation, to slide into the DM and going back and forth, DMing each other, to wanting to meet up so she can just kind of have a shoulder to cry on, to giggity, to that. And she's still married. And here's another thing too. Women are really good when they start running they play. Women are really good at keeping that secret, man. Most women don't get caught. Just keep that in mind. Most women don't get caught. And then when they really want to make the move, they'll cut it off and try to be with that other dude. And the other dude, if he's a player, be like, nah, no need to cut it off. Stay with him. Let him keep giving you all that money. Let him buy you them bags. Let him pay for them experiences. I'm just here to make you feel good when you come over here. Right? I'm just here to blow your back out. But that game never stops, gentlemen. It just changes. So if you don't do those things, if you don't perform those 13 labors, those 13 tasks, those 13 jobs as a man, whatever you want to call it, you don't do those things, she's going to find some dude who does. As simple as that. Right? And there it is. Brother Penny is right. The way you get her is the way you keep her. That is 100% a fact, bro. The way you keep her, the way you got her. The way you get her is the way you keep her, man. Like, if you did leave with your wallet, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem, right? If you got unlimited money, okay, that's cool. But eventually it's just going to be other things you did do outside of your wallet. If you stop doing that, she's going to move on. Let's continue.
What are you doing, brother? Good to see you, brother.
Sorry.
How you doing? No, it's okay. You have these beautiful women, and we want other people to we want to date the most beautiful women, but at the same time, we want to pretend like they're not going to be getting stimulus from other people, wealthy people, rich people, superstars, movie stars. They're going to get that attention. And we want to live in this world where we think, okay, I've got this beautiful woman. She's incredible to me. And I can just chill, bro. I can just start watching Netflix. I don't have to be so aggressive. You got two problems, man, about the game when it comes to the game. Number one, the game is real, whether or not you believe in it, whether or not you want it to be real. Meaning, like, her attraction cues and attraction triggers are going to be real no matter what. No matter how comfortable she makes you feel. And the best explanation I've ever seen for this is from a book by Jonathan Haidt called The Happiness Hypothesis. He talks about the elephant and the rider. The elephant and the rider.
Before he gets into this, it was pretty fascinating what he was saying about the elephant and the rider. I thought about it, like, oh, it makes a good point, because you ain't stopping an elephant. They want to do something. That's what they're going to do. Where he's walking now, he's about a quarter of a block north of Santa Monica Boulevard. So if instead of making the right turn that he made when that guy was talking to him, like, hey, what if he just went through that intersection, the street zone, if he went through that street, went down not even a quarter of a block, the next major intersection would have been Santa Monica Boulevard. Why is this important? I'm pretty sure there's going to be Michael Sartain haters out there watching this, and they're like, look, he's over in Boys Town. What's Boys Town? That part of Santa Monica Boulevard and that part of West Hollywood is basically the LGBTQ mecca. When they do Pride Day, it's on Santa Monica Boulevard. I think it goes from, man, I don't know how far east it goes. Maybe does it go far? Does it go all the way to La Brea? I don't know. I never went to the parade. But when the parade happens, like it messes up traffic. And LA traffic is already bad. So I don't know how far east it goes, but it goes pretty far. But that community is there. And there's a lot of people that be trying to say negative things about Brother Michael. He's out there, taking care of business. And the thing about the area he's in has the best hotels and, some of the best restaurants. And it's a really good part of town. It's really close to Beverly Hills. I mean, it borders Beverly Hills. Like he's basically walking, he's less than a quarter mile from Beverly Hills. So that's why he's over here. Over there is a great part of town. If people are going to be watching this in team replay, or people probably in his chat saying all this stuff like, oh, he's in Boys Town, he's probably, playing for the other team. I can assure you he's not, bro. It's just, I just wanted to point that out. And another thing too about that part of town in LA is safe. The sheriff department is right there. Yeah, he's less than a mile away from the sheriff department right there on Santa Monica Boulevard. Like I said, there's a bunch of clubs and bars and all that kind of stuff over there. And it's just, if you're kind of dude who's real nervous around that community, then you definitely want to stay off of that block, especially when they party. But it's like I'm saying, it's jumping, and there's some like straight clubs over there, there's some great restaurants over there. There's some really good restaurants over there, just like, just kind of adjacent to Santa Monica. But I've been over there a million times, bro. And I'm telling you, bro, like the women, they come after you, bro. Like, it's just crazy. It's a whole different kind of game. We'll talk about that sometime down the road as well. But I just want to throw that out there. Just because dude is walking around in that area doesn't mean he rocks with that community. He's just over there because that's where he's walking towards this hotel. That's where the best hotels and all that kind of stuff are. And I ain't gonna lie, he's in a good part, like a safe part. Let's continue.
The elephant, I want you to think about it, that is your subconscious. The rider, I want you to think about that as your conscious. So your conscious, the rider, he thinks he's in control. He can make the elephant turn right. He can make the elephant turn left. But what he can't do is make the elephant jump off a cliff. And he can't make the elephant not be hungry or not take a poop. The rider thinks he's in control, but he really isn't. The elephant is in actual control. But the difference is the rider is the one that does all the talking. And the elephant is the one that actually has the desires and is way more powerful. So I want you to think about this. When you're having a conversation with a woman or a man, anybody, when you're having the conversation, you're only having the conversation with the rider, not the elephant. You're only having the conversation with the conscious, not the subconscious. And when you're having that conversation, the conscious is going to say anything it has to say to make itself feel better, or in order to create the narrative that person, the whole person, the elephant and the rider, needs to feel good. If you've ever had a conversation with somebody and they're saying what they want you to believe. So for instance, a woman who keeps making bad relationship choices, and she tells you that she's only interested in good guys who are sapiosexuals. She only wants good, smart guys. She's saying that. What is that? You're hearing the rider tell you what it wants you to believe. But if you pay attention to the elephant, which is her actions, then you'll see that something else is coming to fruition. So I want you to think of the rider as the words, the conscious as the words, and I want you to think of the elephant as the actions, okay? So you're having a conversation with a girl, and she's like, hey, you don't need to work out that hard. Stay at home. Man, I'm telling you right now, my last relationship, if I stayed in and stayed at home as much as she wanted to, I would not have a business. I would have no friends. I would be fat. I would have no business. So the first thing, like I said before, is because there's a dualistic nature in human beings, a conscious and a subconscious. You can't listen to what they say, because when you listen to what they say, you stop playing the game. You have to only pay attention to what they do. Rule number one in Men of Action is what? You guys know the answer. Rule number one is we only pay attention to people's actions. We don't listen to the words.
That's smart right there, bro. People going to say what they believe you want to hear, or they're going to be, a lot of women are saying what they want to hear. I guess they believe if they say it, it must be true, right? This is the first time I've ever done this, or I'm a virgin, or I only like nice guys, right? I love nice guys. Well, why are you dating that dude over there? He's a shit bag. So that's what he means by their actions. They're saying one thing, but they're doing something completely different. Completely different. I want men to respect my mind. It's like, well, why are you wearing a see-through dress with no pasties on? Like, you want me to respect your mind? I can see your nipples. Well, it shouldn't matter. Like, again, look at their actions. I'm so tired of hookup culture. I'm so tired of F boys. Then why are you over here in West Hollywood in the hottest spot in the city? Why do I see you at every party? Why do I see you on every red carpet? Why do I see you at every mansion joint, every yacht party? And you tired of dealing with these dudes? So that's what he's saying. Like, look at what they say, but weigh that against what they do. That is very, very smart. If that is their number one rule over there, like Men of Action, I'm here to tell y'all, man, if you guys are looking for groups and you just don't know which group is going to work for you, man, I'm telling you, you definitely might want to look into what they're doing over there at Men of Action. Just look into what they're doing over there. You know, it depends. I think every guy has their certain thing that they're wanting from groups. Some guys want more of a coach, more of a drill sergeant, tough love approach, right? Okay, go holler at Myron the Fresh over there, Fresh and Fit. Like, you're gonna definitely get that in those Zoom calls. You're definitely gonna get that when you talk to Myron about stuff. He's gonna come at you like the coach, like the drill sergeant, a lot of tough love, right? If you're looking for something that's more like, man, I want to be more focused on leveling up, getting my business off the ground. I want to focus on that. Okay, holler at Rich Cooper. Look at Rich Cooper. He got a school of unplugging, I think is what it's called. And bro, they have guys in there who are serious-minded dudes, and they're going to help you get squared away. Wherever you are deficient, they got someone that can help you get squared away. Either be it fashion, dating, finance, whatever it may be. Over there, they're going to get you squared away. If you're a guy that's like, look, my money's good, my fashion's okay, but man, I'm just so shy, and I want to figure out a way to get around women. Men of Action might be your spot. You might want to get over there and holler at these people at Men of Action, like, yo, see how Mike is training these guys up on his technique. Like, hey, man, we're going to go out here. We're going to do these events. You're going to surround yourself with a bunch of beautiful women. You're going to see how women begin to compete for you when you're not really paying attention to them, when you're focused on, your business, doing what you need to do. That might be what you need. Right. And then I'm like, hey, y'all like, hey, probably listening to me is like, yo, Uncle Saint, you pushing everybody away. Like, listen, what I'm doing is trying to get you the help you need. If none of those groups are working for you, or, where I come into the play, it's like, hey, I think I'm ready to go out here and try it on my own. I need just a little bit of coaching, right? I need that, I need that caddy with me. That's when you come holler at me. And I'm going to tell you, like, nah, man, you need a wedge for this one, or nah, man, bring, pull out the old one for this one, or pull out your sand wedge. I'm going to help you out. I'm the caddy. Right. So when you come to me, we going out into the real world. And I'm going to sit there with you, and I'm going to be hearing what's going on, right? I'm going to, help you scan the room, right? I'm going to be asking you questions like, what do you see? What do you think is going on with that? With that couple over there? What do you think is going on with that group of women over there? What do you think is going on over there with that bartender and, that dude over there? And I'll be able to help you fine tune what's going on. Like, nah, this is what I think is going on. I'll be the guy like, okay, go over there and talk to her. I'll give you a quick little mission. Go over there and get her social media, man. Just go over there, go get her Instagram. If she ain't got Instagram, get her Facebook. She might be a little older. Snapchat, something. That's your mission. Go over there. You got 2 minutes. 2 minutes to make this happen. That's what you're going to be doing with me, right? So if you're looking for that, come out at me. We go out into the real world. We'll go out into the trenches, and I'll coach you up. We'll definitely talk about fashion. We'll talk about like different fragrances. Like, hey, man, let's talk about what colognes might work for you. We talk about accessories, and then I'm going to help you spot things. I'm going to help you break the ice. That's what I do. So I don't have the big community where we're doing all the Zoom calls and stuff like that. I am a part of a bunch of communities with some really great guys, right? So if MOA isn't working for you, if the School of Unplugging isn't quite working for you, if Fresh and Fit isn't quite working for you, we do have guys in different cities. We're in Charlotte, we're in Atlanta, we're here in Tampa, we're out on the West Coast. If you're just looking like, you know, what I really need though, I need to just fellowship with a bunch of brothers like myself. And I need to sit there and still sharpening, still work with some guys, plan stuff out, you know, hold each other accountable. If you're looking for that, then I can take care of you. I can definitely point you in the right direction. We have some cities with some really good guys in there that'll get you squared away. So, and then sometimes you might have to pick and choose. You might have to do a couple, you know, figure it out to get what you need to become better. Once you become the best version of yourself, women will see you. Once that confidence comes, women will see you. Right. And then from there, it's just trial and error. You're going to make some mistakes, man, but hopefully you won't be going after the girl who looks cute, overdosed on something and pooped and peed all over herself. Hopefully you won't be going over her, bro. You won't be doing that, but you might. Like, if anybody wants to talk about fashion, it has to be me. Look, like I say, when y'all see me doing this, I'm just in the house just wearing t-shirts and whatnot. But when I go out, guys. When I go out, I look like a proper gentleman. I don't care where I am. You know, I can't tell you how many times people come up to me, a lot of women, bro, just come up to me and they're just like, wow, you look nice and this and that. And I'm not even, I have yet to really dress up. There's an event coming up down here in Tampa in a couple of weeks. A buddy of mine just invited me. He was like, yeah, I'm going to send you the RSVP, man. You need you to pull up. And that one, I was like, cool. I almost had to pull a tuxedo out for that. I'm like, yo, we going black tie? He was like, I want to get to black tie, but we ain't there yet. But we're getting, you know, we're just under that. You know what I mean? Like, we're business formal. I'm like, cool. And hopefully it's gonna be a little nippy. I can put my overcoat on. Man, look, I'm gonna be in there. They're gonna be looking at me like either dude's a model or he's a gangster. He's probably got a Tommy gun up under that coat. Let's continue.
Okay, so now that's the first reason why, because it's a psychological necessity. That's the first reason why you've got to keep playing the game. The second reason why is because if you don't play the game, remember, men are more competitive than women. We have 17 times more testosterone than women do. So if you don't play the game as a man, guess what? The next guy will. And he will take your girl and he will take your job. Always remember that. Just because you want to be the ethical sales guy, or you want to try to work out fewer days per week because your girl wants you to stay at home more, you believe that. But the problem is there's some guy out there who's going to work more hours than you. He's going to make more money than you. He's going to be funnier than you. He's going to put more effort into his YouTube channel than you are. He's going to bust his ass more than you. He's going to make better connections than you. He's going to get up earlier than you, because men are competitive. And those competitive men, they have no compunction against taking your girl. In fact, when they meet your girl and she ends up cheating on you with him, he doesn't even know you exist. But you wanted to believe there was no game. Guys, I got two reasons for you. Reason number one, like I said before, is the elephant in the rider. And the second reason why I said is because when you don't want to play the game, somebody else wants to play the game, and they have no problem taking your girl. So you always have to play the game. So let's talk about.
Bro, he is 100% spot on with that, bro. So when you finally get your woman, man, you think it's all good. You've been ignoring her red flags. You've been whatever, making excuses for her bad behavior. And one day you discover that she been smashing dudes the whole time. She's been playing you for a fool. Don't get mad at those guys. Those guys are doing what they're supposed to do. Don't get mad at a shark for eating fish in the ocean. That's what sharks are supposed to do. Don't get mad if you're in the ocean and you riding a paddle board and you swimming with a bunch of seals and some great white comes up and takes a bite out of you, bro. It ain't the fault of the great white. Right? That's what they do. It's your fault for swimming with seals. Right? So if you got a woman and you, dude, y'all know I'm telling you, most of the guys, I would say 80% of the guys know that they messing up and they done chose the wrong girl. They know it, but they like, I can fix her. I can save her. Captain Save her. Right? And she doesn't want to be saved. She is more than happy to use you for whatever you are providing. And most of these dudes are leading with their wallet. They're providing experiences. They're doing all this kind of stuff. They're doing everything, right? Thinking that this is gonna get me in. I was in a nightclub when she pooped on herself and peed on herself, and I saved her. I called the ambulance, just like Brother Mike was talking about here. That's gonna get me in. It's gonna get you in with a woman who will be smashing the promoter of some other club, a week later, And here you are thinking that's your girlfriend. Right? Think about it. If Michael Sartain had his way and she was like, okay, you saved me. Okay, Mr. Air Force man, you can be my boyfriend. She goes and looks up his rank, see how much money he makes. Like, oh, okay, buy me this, take me here, take me there, do this, da 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 da. And then bam, he goes back an hour and a half, 2 hours back to his base. What is she doing? While she's texting him. Oh, hey, babe. Yeah, thank you. I got the money. Thank you for the cash out, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, right, if you would put a camera on what she's doing, she's currently getting her back blown out and she's texting him while she's getting what she wants. Right? She got the bad boy behind her doing whatever. Don't be mad at the bad boy. That's his job. He's doing what he's supposed to do. Be mad at yourself for choosing that woman. That's how it works, bro. And brother Pablo, man, I could tell you stories, man. I could tell you stories, man. It's some girls go out there, man. They just either get too drunk or they take the wrong substance, bro. Like I've heard stories of women waking up, and they're not even in their home. They have no idea where they are. They don't have their phone. They wake up in a strange house. Right. This was when I was in the Army. We were in Atlanta. We were kicking it with one of our homeboys, and it was one of those things. It was like 4 dudes, but they rented out this big house. And bro, we would go down there because when we was at Fort Bragg, we would go down there to Atlanta to kick it, stay with them. And bro, it was more than once. We'll be sitting there, and some girl will come, wandering out of one of the rooms, and she's looking around like, "Excuse me, can you guys tell me where I am?" Like straight up, can I use the phone? And this is before, cell phones were readily accessible, so she had to use a house phone. This is when you had numbers in your head. She would call, and it was one of the things. And then one of the dudes would come out like, "Oh, what's going on, Cynthia?" Like, "Yeah, girl, you did this or whatever. You took that, so we just put you in there. You good." Like, didn't nobody touch her. She wasn't, she didn't do anything. She just had no idea where she was. And here she is in a house full of men. And she didn't, when old boy came out and she knew him and she was like, "Oh, okay." But she didn't know the rest of us. And, she pretty quick realized that she was in a safe spot. She was good. And she was waiting for her people to come and pick her up. And they live like 40 minutes away to deal with traffic. So she put herself in a situation that could have turned way different, bro. Way different. So, they do it, man. We make mistakes, man. He was like, "Nah," like Michael Sartain, bro, listen, I like what he's saying about telling these dudes like, bro, don't be out here caping for these women. Don't be out here white knighting for these women. Stop being a good guy. Right? There's ways to get there, bro. I'm telling you, what he's talking about works. It works. I have yet to meet him in person yet, but I will. I'll probably see him before Q2 of next year. I like his message. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Good to see you, though. We got Cody's King in the building. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like he's telling stories and he's turning it around. Like I there's the pickup artistry and there's guys who are good at that, and then there's this side of the game, the social circle game. I think it works. He's always talking with those guys, the playing with fire dude. Those guys, those pickup artist guys. He's always talking to those. They do podcasts. He'll jump on their panels, and I listen to the pickup artists, and I see them in the streets, and it's like, nah, what Sartain is doing is far more superior in my opinion, my humble opinion. Like, because I've done this without, I didn't know this was a play. I just in LA, bro. If I wanted to go somewhere, I always had a bunch of beautiful women with me, and I know I'm going to get in. Right, I would, always network with the bouncers, the door guys, the owners, the managers, the bartenders, and it works for me. And it's pretty much the same play. That's what they're talking about over there at Men of Action. So from what I'm seeing, it works. From what I'm seeing. Now, again, I haven't met the brother. Once I meet him, I will see him in action, see how that goes, and who knows? Maybe we'll be able to, do a joint event out here in Tampa. We'll see.
What are the rules to this game? There's a bunch of rules, but the prime rule, there's one prime rule, and all the other rules are derivatives of this prime rule. And the prime rule is actually Orion Teraband, who came on my podcast. He actually said it probably the most succinct way I've ever heard. He goes, your prime directive as a man is to be attractive. Now, attraction can be several different things. It can be competency, relevancy, access to scarce resources. It can be high status. It can be pre-selection. It can be charisma. It can be humor. It can be networking. It can also be height and physique. It can also be money. These are all different things that can make you attractive. But your prime directive is to stay attractive. No matter what she says to you, the only thing you need to do, you need to make sure that you're doing, is that you continue validating whatever triggers were necessary for her to find you attractive. What's going on? Sorry about that.
Right. And that Orion Teraband, bro, like, because again, like in the red pill, like I was saying earlier, you got different coaches and different people out there with different techniques. And you have people who want that tough love, that drill sergeant kind of stuff. Orion Teraband, Michael Sartain, they're not that. These dudes are just telling you, hey man, this is what I'm doing. This is what's worked for me. And then Brother Cody was like he's just paying with his wallet and then simping hard. I don't know, man. I haven't seen that. But here's the thing. I haven't moved with this guy. I haven't been out in the trenches with this guy yet. That's why I really want to meet him and see how he's moving. You'll see. It's like you said in this video, right? There's what people say, and then there's what they really do. And I want to see if it matches up. And I'm here to tell you that in theory, what he's preaching works. I've done it. I've done a variant of it. And I didn't do events where I was bringing, 100 women to an event like he's doing that Babes in Toyland thing. And then I guess you can make the argument, people can make the argument, it's like, well, money is being spent, but it's not his money. He's sponsored, so he's not buying bottles. I don't believe he's paying these girls money. I don't think he's paying them to be on the podcast. I don't think I'm certain he's not paying them to show up, because they need to show up because they're going to meet people and network their way into some photo shoot or whatever. But I could be wrong. You know what I mean? I could be wrong. And he, like, a lot of stuff that he's talking about, it does make sense. Even someone like Cody look at it like, yeah, man, like, dude, it makes sense. I just need to get into the trenches with him and see for myself. And if I see something that's not matching up, if the words don't match up with the actions, we'll be talking about it right here. We'll be talking about it right here. We got Brother Izzy in the building. What's good, fam? Let's continue.
That's the prime directive. When you say, I need to, what are the rules of the game? Whatever pulls you away from that. And by the way, you guys will notice when you get into a relationship, you're going to have these comments from your girl where she's going to try to pull you away from your prime directive. The things that made you attractive to her. Let's say you met her and, you were a dude who was very popular. You had a lot of guy friends, a lot of female friends. Women found you very attractive, and she tries to pull you out of that environment. So for instance, in my case, I host these huge parties. I host these bikini competitions. If I were dating a woman and then all of a sudden she's like, I don't want you hosting these parties anymore, and I don't want you doing these bikini competitions, I know, because I understand the rules of the game and I understand how psychology works, what's happening is the more I go to these parties, the more leverage I have in the relationship, the more attractive I am, not only with her, but with other women. And so she kind of loses a little bit of leverage here. And she doesn't, by the way, women don't know they're doing this. This is a total subconscious reaction. Remember, it's the elephant who's doing this. It's not the rider.
That's a good point. And paying for the parties, like he just said, he hosts the events. I am almost, and again, I don't know this to be factual, but I will when I catch up with the brother. But if he's running events, and I do events all the time, he's in there, he's got if everyone knows that this dude's going to have the hottest chicks, his event is going to be popping, people are paying for the event. So to get into his Babes in Toyland thing, that's why he was in LA, you got to pay to get in there. And I don't know what the general mission is, but I'm assuming, right? I would assume it's safe to say that a general mission ticket is probably somewhere between $100 and $300 to get into that joint for the dude. And then you got sponsorship. He's been doing this for a while. So I'm pretty sure he's got sponsors coming in there, like maybe people who do bikinis, like, people who's in the fashion world. You're going to have companies wanting you to move your stuff. I guarantee you they're doing gift bags. So I believe this is how he's making his money. That's what I believe. Now, again, Brother Cody, I could be wrong, but I think that what he's doing is, he's having these events. People are showing up. He's probably working in conjunction with a couple of promoters, especially if he's in LA. He's done this Babes in Toyland thing in LA a few times already. Well, California. And most of the time, those are it's like a hot ticket, bro. So, If he's running the correct numbers, bro, I think he's doing fine. But again, we'll find out. I'm gonna find out personally. Like I said, I'm gonna catch up with brother Michael Sartain. I'm gonna see what's going on. If I mean, I gotta catch him in Vegas or catch him at one of his events when he's moving around. I'm gonna catch up with the brother, see what's going on. But I like what I'm hearing, and all I want to do is confirm that that the talk is syncing up with the actions.
The elephant is giving her pangs, like, oh, when women say things like, oh, I don't like guys that have all these other girls. We know that's not true. Anybody you've used pre-selection before on your social media, you know very well that that's just not true. That's just a cope that women say in order to, not put themselves in a situation where they're going to lose power. So let's talk about this, the dynamic. Remember, the prime directive is for you to be more attractive. Let's talk about where the dynamic comes from. So as men do things that gain attraction, so again, they get stronger, they go on better shows, they get a bigger social media following, they make more money, they become more professionally viable, they get a new master's degree, a doctorate, whatever. As they are appreciated by more people and seen as higher status, and women find them more attractive, they get in better shape, whatever the thing is, as they do things to make themselves more attractive, women are losing power and men are gaining power. I want you to think about this. Always think about this. Again, if you're a salesperson and you start selling more than everybody else in your company, you know you're gaining power and your company is losing power in your future negotiations for a new contract. Same thing, you're a football player, you're like a rookie, you win the NFL MVP. In that case, in the negotiation, you're gaining power and the team is losing power, okay? So when you think about men and attraction, when men create more attraction, they're gaining power and women are losing power. When you do things that build more comfort, so comfort is like you start buying her things, you start paying her rent, you start paying, you open doors for her, you buy her flowers, you call her all these, sweet names, you hold her hand in public. These are things, and by the way, I'm not saying you don't do these things. I'm just saying you only do these things for a woman who's earned it. When you do those things, a woman is gaining power and you as a man is losing power. And the ultimate example of this is when a man proposes to a woman, what does he do? He gets down on one knee and gives her a large chunk of his salary in a rock, an inanimate object, to show his love for her and to show how committed he is to her. Now, when a man is getting down on the knee, ask yourself this question, just the first thing that pops up to your mind. When a man gets down on his knee to ask a question, is he gaining power or is he losing power? The whole marriage contract and the marriage industrial complex is a situation, is all built to give women power and to build up comfort, okay?
Oh, wow. That's definitely something to think about, man. I never thought of it like that, but yeah, why do we do that? We're programmed. You got to go down on one knee. You have to, the thing with the rock, man. I proposed to someone before, and like I said, I spent a lot of money on a diamond, and it was just under 2 carats, and I gave him. And as soon as I walked out of the store with that diamond ring, you know what I mean. Let's say I spent $5,000 on that ring. I forget how much I spent on it, but let's say it was $5,000. The instant I walked out the store, that ring lost value. I couldn't sell it for $5,000, bro. I couldn't. Beautiful stone. I couldn't sell it for $5,000. And I'm giving it to someone. And like you said, getting down on one knee, I didn't think about it. Like, why did I get down on one knee? But, well, that's what you're supposed to do. Why? And, obviously it didn't work. It didn't work out, but just think of all the resources, all the time, all the energy, all the effort that was wasted. It was not something that put me in a position of power or leverage or anything like that. It was very submissive, to be honest with you. You're asking this question, you're putting yourself out there. But those who, there are people who do it, go through that whole process. They love it. They've stayed married, had beautiful children, still married to this day. There are people who've done it, like that. But I don't know. I'm just thinking about what he said. Those words are just kind of bouncing around in my head. Like Cody, I'm looking at this. Like, if you give her 0.5 and she sleeps with you, doesn't that count as still paying for it? I don't know. I mean, is this, what exactly is he giving the women? I'm under the impression that the women that come to his events, he doesn't pay them to be there. Again, he's hosting these events. He's hosting, these competitions, right? These swimsuit competitions. In fact, the women probably have to pay to be in the tournament, is what I'm thinking. I remember going to Miss Hawaiian Tropics. I was at the Miss Hawaiian Tropics in Vegas. Oh man, I still got pictures of it. This is my man Dave Moore. RIP, my brother Dave. And we would go to Miss Hawaiian Tropic competition every year. It was at Treasure Island. Dave was like a high roller, and so we would get suites, and VIP access. Somewhere I got pictures. It's before the smartphone. Somewhere I got pictures of with Miss Canada, Miss Rio, Miss America, like Miss USA, Miss. So those women initially paid to get into the competition. No. Those women had sponsors. That's what it was. So they wanted it in their regions or whatever, and then the sponsorship picked it up. But a lot of those girls were telling me that they had to pay to go to like the first. They had to the hometown pageant. They won that. Then they had to go to like the regional, and then they had to go to like the country finals, and they had to pay their own way and stuff like that. They were like, it wasn't until they got to Vegas, until the final round or whatever, that the sponsors paid for their travel. Those girls weren't making a lot of money. So I mean, I believe if he's doing the swimsuit modeling competitions, I think the girls are paying him to be in the competition. Again, I could be wrong. This is why I want to highlight him. But to your point, the way I look at it, if you're paying women in any way, shape, or form to get them in bed, bro, I mean, you might as well just go get you a professional. There's a lot of guys who do that. So now we get into like splitting hairs kind of thing. Well, isn't taking a girl out on a date, you're trying to get her to have sex with you. So if you take her out on a date to like the best restaurant in town and you spend $1,000 on dinner, doesn't that mean that you paid for the Foxy Brown? If in fact she gives it to you. It depends on the dude, bro. I've taken women to White Castles, literally, and then went home and smashed. So I guess, it's like, did I pay for it? So my thing is, I agree with you, bro. If in fact a dude is using his business as an excuse to pay money to a woman and then smash them, kind of like what Harvey Weinstein was doing, which was dirty, but at least, he put the deal out there. You let me smash you, and you can pick any movie you want to be in, and then the girl smashes and she gets to be in the movie, that's definitely transactional. So if, people are like, well, no real money. He didn't pay her money. Harvey Weinstein didn't have to, but he gave her a movie deal that led to her being a multi-million-dollar A-list celebrity, right? So it's still transactional. If Michael Sartain is actually paying girls, and then he brings them back to the crib and smash them, then yeah, that would be transactional. That's not game. I mean, it's a form of game. It's not a game that I would sanction, like, but I get it how you won't get it. If that's what's going on, then I'll come back and report what's going on. And I'll say, hey, maybe we could step away from that. I think a lot of people have problems with Sartain because he doesn't have that, man, screw all these, they're all 304s, all women are horrible. Don't trust none of these chicks. He doesn't run with that message. There's a lot of guys that want that message. He's not running with that message. He's running with, they're capable of doing it, but you better choose the right one, which is akin to the message that I'm running. Like, be careful, know the game. Understand the game. And if you get played, at least you knew the game, right? You knew the rules, you ran your play, whatever. But I don't know, bro. I hope I answered your question, man. If you are paying, right? If you are paying these women in some way, shape, or form, and your whole reason for doing all of whatever it is you did is just to get them in bed, I mean, that's like transactional. But I mean, look at someone like who's a celebrity. Look at Leonardo DiCaprio. You know what I mean? Like, he ain't paying for jack. He's running these young girls. They just can't wait to be with him. Dan Bilzerian was doing the same thing, but people were saying that Dan Bilzerian would actually pay money to a lot of these women, a lot of these models to show up at his events. Now, did that mean he was going to smash them? I don't know. Like, did he have to pay an extra? I'm gonna pay an extra 10 grand to be at this event, but the extra 10 grand for you to, come to the boom boom room. Is that what Bilzerian was doing? I don't know, but that is one of Michael Sartain's homeboys. So Cody is saying, if they are there for the party, and that's all benefits included, free booze and drugs and clout, and he is paying for the purpose of picking up these chicks, that's expensive. Like, I'm just saying to you, I don't think that it's a good idea for most dudes to do what Mike does. Oh, okay. I can see you. I can see that. But I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like, I think that, like for me, I told the story a few times, like running the comedy shows out in LA. You know, there was more than a handful of times women would come up to me because they recognized me as the guy who was running the show. We had a show on Sunset Boulevard, not too far from where Michael began this video, or Brother Sartain, began his video, just a couple blocks east on Sunset Boulevard. We ran one of our most successful shows. And it was at a place called Corona Cantina at the time. It was a space that had been like a million, literally like 10 different owners, 10 different things or whatever. But we got in there, we ran a really good show. And for about 3 months or so, I was legit a LA cool kid, a Sunset cool kid. Like I mean, everyone knew me on Sunset. They knew the show. And it was a couple girls that was like, "What's up?" They called me, because I was always on Sunset going to the comedy store. They called me. One girl in particular called me at Saddle Ranch. She actually lived across the street. You feel me? Like it went down. Now, she never performed in any of my shows, but she went to almost all of them. She knew what was going on. I never paid her anything. I never as much as bought her a drink. So there's that one side. And then I think what Brother Cody is saying is what Sartain is doing is something a little bit different. Like he is actually paying the money with the intent of trying to get that kind of situation. So, yeah. Yeah, most dudes ain't gonna be Bilzerian, bro. Like, Bilzerian was born into it. His dad gave all that money. You know what I mean? And I guess his father probably got tired of him blowing it like that. Yeah, and Brother Penny, you're right, man. He's definitely he's cool with a lot of adult film stars, but he's cool with a lot of just swimsuit models, regular models, smash them out. He knows some like business women too. Like he knows women who made money from business ventures and stuff like that. Screw all 304s. Hey man, it's like I said, man, dudes want to smash, bro. And sometimes, it's easy to get the low hanging fruit, and the low hanging fruit is gonna be the loose girls, man. They're gonna be the loose girls. But I hear what Brother Cody is saying. I'm still my intent is to catch up with Sartain. I want to see how he moves in real life. I want to see how that plays out. But I think dudes can learn from his program. I really do. Having said that, I don't know exactly what's in his program. Just based on what I'm hearing from him, the theory is you go out there, you're doing these events, you become the man, and all these women are going to want to holler at you. And you do put yourself in a situation where you're surrounded by a bunch of beautiful women, but what caliber of women are they? It's like what Brother Penny is saying. They 304s. You want to be surrounded by a bunch of 304s, just go to the local lounge, the local nightclub. You're going to be surrounded by them. But it's food for thought. I'm going to be thinking about that, Cody. I'm going to be thinking about that. But as it is right now, I think his plan works, but I don't even know how much they're paying over there, to be honest with you, bro. I'm going to have to get in there and get some details now. Now I got to get some details. Now you got me curious. Let's continue.
Now, as a man, the thing I'm going to let you guys know is you can't be all attraction. As much as we'd like to be, and a lot of guys who have been players for a long time, and they're still frustrated by women, part of the reason why is because all you do is build attraction. Building attraction is good. If you're going to build attraction or comfort, the first thing I definitely would work on is attraction. And I will say most of you watching this, your problem is attraction. It's not comfort. But building only attraction, you're the dude who she'll come over in the middle of the night, don't care about other girls being over there, extremely attractive, get chosen as a short-term option, not super taken seriously. But you know what? It's a lot of fun when you're in your 20s and you're the one getting chose. It's nice. You're actually the dude that she might be cheating on her boyfriend with. That's all attraction and no comfort. She's going to call you a boy, but right after she calls you a boy, she's going to call an Uber to come over to your house. Okay? So that's all attraction. All comfort is what? You're giving her all the power, and you have no power. So a great example of all comfort is like being like her gay best friend. Okay? Being like her gay best friend. So you're physically attracted to her and you really like her. And I'm not talking about a woman you're actually friends with. I'm talking about a woman that you have feelings for, but you can't express those feelings because, she doesn't like you. She doesn't see you that way. So you do all these nice things for her, trying to gain her affection. Like the story about me earlier when I was, trying to save that girl, took her to the hospital, waited for her outside the hospital room, etc. That's a situation where I was trying to use comfort to build attraction. Comfort needs to come second. Now, not for your friends. For your friends, comfort can come first. But for a woman that you're attracted to, attraction always has to come first. You have to show some level of dominance, alpha behavior, and masculinity. That's what building attraction does. And then in those cases, you're gaining power and she's losing power. And what you think about it, for the most part, in most interactions, most men and women, most women are not attracted to most men, and most men are attracted to most women. You can look at dating apps to see this. About 55% of the time, men swipe right. About 5% of the time, women swipe right. So in most interactions, in a vacuum, the average guy is not in power with the average woman. The average woman knows she can have sex with the average guy, and the average guy is having to do things to get her attraction, try to take risks, because throughout history, about 40% of men have reproduced and about 80% of women. So men are kind of in a deficit to start things off. When you build attraction, now you're gaining power, so we can get to where we're maybe even or a little bit where you have more power than her, and she's losing power, which evens things out. It actually doesn't, you're not manipulating women, you're just actually evening things out. And then once she is shown, so let's consider gentleman game, like something that Justin Waller talks about. If a woman has given you a child, she has been faithful to you, she has given you a child, she's brought peace into your home, and she's made an unbelievable home for her, that woman deserves everything. Let me say that again. If a woman is bringing peace into your home, she's helping you build a solid home. She is nothing but a benefit in your life when it comes to your career and your peace of mind. She's your peace when you come home, and she's giving you a child. That woman deserves everything.
Yeah, I agree with that. There was a big shift in the tone of the conversation. We was talking about, comfort versus attraction. And this is one of the things I tell dudes all the time, man. Don't confuse women. A lot of dudes like to come at women and become their friend first. They want to be their friend first. And they know they have every intention of trying to get more from this woman. They want to come in like, oh, I'm just your friend. Let's go to the flower festival. Let's go to the zoo, and they got this new butterfly exhibit. Let's go do all these things as a friend. And they know damn well they trying to hit. I come at it from a different way. I come at it from a different perspective. If I'm attracted to you day one, I'm letting you know, like, girl, you fine. I'm letting you know right up front that I'm trying to get on. Now, if you want me to come with you to the butterfly festival or whatever, all right, I'll come. You paying, you treating, I'll come, because I don't care about butterflies. If you want me there, you got to pay. Otherwise, come holler at me when you're done. I'm gonna be over here at such and such. Come see me. I'll buy you a drink, something like that. But off rip, I'm trying to smash. You come get, hey girl, be careful. Don't come over here. Don't come over here unless you're trying to get it. Now we'll laugh, but she know, like, all right, he's trying to do something. How come you never say this to my friend Becky? Because Becky's a big girl. I ain't into big girls. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to get at Becky. I'm trying to get at you. I'm up front. If she's not with it and she goes and she moves on, fine. I mean, I'm still cool with her. But she knows these dudes go out here and they're trying to be friends. They get in the friendship zone and they try to work their way in that way. Eventually they make a move and she's shocked and appalled. Like, I can't believe you even look at me like that. Right? That's the risk you run. Right? She's like, you ain't even brave enough to tell me, you look like a coward. No one likes a coward. So all that stuff he was saying, I agree with. Then he kind of goes into what Justin Waller was saying about, finding a good woman, and, she's going to have your child. You got to give her the word. Of course. If that's your end game, like if your end game is to find yourself a wife and you just want the one wife or whatever you're doing, of course. Right. Make sure you're vetting at least 2 years, make sure you got the right one. And then she comes through on her end. Yeah, you absolutely want to give her the world. Absolutely. Right. So, I mean, the conversation just kind of threw me. Like what he was talking about on the one side didn't match up with what he's talking about now, but maybe he's trying to get to a point. But it's just one of those things. So many dudes are afraid to go approach a woman and tell her up front he's trying to get at her. I tell them day one, minute one. I mean, I tell them, like, what's up? I'm trying to holler at you. Oh, we can just hang out as friends. Like, nah. I ain't trying to do that. You know what I mean? So, all right, I guess you ain't attracted to me then, girl. It's nice talking to you. See you around. And I move on to the next one. That's how it was back then. And I didn't care. Especially if you run a rotation, like you're just not pressed, bro. You got options. You're just not pressed. They see that, and then next time they see you out, they see you with another fine one, and they see you with all the other cool kids, and this person and that person, and you getting in to the most exclusive joints, she is going to want to talk to you. She will circle back. She will place herself in your orbit. This will happen unless she really isn't into you. Right? Maybe she got somebody she really want or whatever, but I'm just telling you, that's how it works. Never be afraid to tell a woman your intentions day one. You got to do it that way. You got to do it that way, man. Definitely got to make yourself attractive. Whatever that looks like, you got to make yourself, Brother Cole, you're right. I agree with that. Make yourself attractive, be good at something, whatever that is. I think that, like, especially the stuff that the way I was doing it, I'm good at some things. I'm really good at networking. When I put together events, I'm good at making those events pop. Like we get there and people see that. That I think that carries me over. Like, I'm good at something. They come up, they want to holler at me. Women want to holler, they see you. I bumped into women all the time. They're like, "Oh, how you doing?" I'm Saint. And she's like, "I know who you are. I saw you at the such and such, or I saw you with, these guys over here. Y'all were doing this thing over there. I saw you. Oh, okay, that's what's up." Like, and I'm like, you ain't say nothing. You over here hiding? How come you ain't say something to me? You fine. Come on now. What you scared of? Right? And just start joking or whatever. And at that point, we start flirting or whatever. At that point, she'll say she got a boyfriend or a husband or something like that. I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's cool. I'll back away." Right? So, but if she's like, if it doesn't mean anything to her, she's like, like, you gotta, you got somebody, what's up with your story? I'm in a situationship. Word. Word. Situationship. That's a green light. That means you trying to do something. And again, in my mind, I'm thinking, we just trying to get to the tally. We just trying to do the physical thing so you can get back to your situationship. Right. But I've dealt with women who are like, nope, next time I get with a guy, it's going to be have to 100% committed to me. Only has to be this, and this. Okay. Nice talking to you. Take care. I'll wait for them to circle back. And they always do circle back. Them women circle back too. They circle back too, because they're running to a guy that's like, "Oh, I promise you all that." And he's a player and he's going out doing his thing. He smashed her and he's still smashing. And she get mad and she's like, "Well, I might as well just get the guy that I think I like." And then they'll come back and circle back to those dudes, to the guys that they tried to put in their friend zone or whatever. So it is what it is. Let's finish this up.
Everything you give her, if she wants a house, you go buy her a house. People say that no, that's being a simp. No, that's not being a simp. She earned that. If a woman gives you a beautiful child and that child is in your arms and you cry, they say you can never cry as a man in front of your girl. No, you can cry then because she earned it. That was something she did. She made an incredible sacrifice for you. That's fine. 99.99999% of you have never had a woman give a sacrifice like that for you. And so she's never earned it. So she should not be getting that emotional response from you and that level of vulnerability.
And just real quick, be careful with that, man. If she gives you a child because you want a child, if y'all talked about this and y'all planned this out, yes, you guys, like, this is what we're gonna do. This is how our relationship is gonna work. She gives you a child that you want, yeah, give her the world. That's how that works. If she's a woman that agreed to be in the rotation, if she's the woman that told you she was on birth control, but somehow she forgot to take it, or somehow, her tubes weren't tied anymore, they kind of, got untied, and the baby comes and she's doing all this after you told her she's on her way out anyway, and the baby is just a play to stay involved with you. Nah, don't do what he's saying. Like, so you got to be careful with this, man. If this is the woman you want and you guys talk about having a family and she comes through and gives you these children, then yes, give her everything. But if you out here and you done fell for her game and you believed her when she told you her tubes were tied, you believed her when she told you she couldn't get pregnant, you believed her when she said that she was on birth control, and bam, here's a baby when you done got rid of her, and 4 weeks later she calls you up talking about she's pregnant. That's a different story, my friend. You have to be careful with that. Yeah, Cody don't like what he's hearing. Yeah, for real. You got to show that loyalty, man. Like, this is like, and this is, that's why I wanted to clear that up. If this is the woman you want and y'all gonna do that, then yeah, I'm with that. This is, y'all got a plan. Y'all gonna have a family. Cool. Do all that. You vetted her, everything. This is what y'all want. This is your plan. This is what y'all gonna do. But if it's the other way around, if you just got caught up in her web, bro, don't do that. So there's definitely a difference, and I see where Cody is coming from. There's definitely a difference there, right? There's a difference. So you just make sure you know what you're doing, bro. Like, because, man, I can't tell you how many women will make that play, bro. They know they're on the way out. They want you. They're into you. They know they screwed up. You've already made that play. Like, I'm moving on. No, you ain't right. I'm moving on. And then boom, you get that call. I'm pregnant. And when you do get that call, bro, DNA test as soon as the baby gets there. DNA test, because you got to figure that out. And now you got a tough decision to make. We want to talk about sacrifices. Now you got a tough decision to make. So I'll be careful with what he's saying right here. Like, again, I don't agree 100% with any one process, any one style of game, or, these coaches. This part right here, be careful with. The stuff he was talking about building attraction, I agree with that. All the other stuff he was talking about, don't white knight and all that, I agree with all that. But this part right here, be very careful, guys.
You guys are giving women attention and vulnerability. You guys are giving women all these comfort cues. You're hitting all these comfort triggers for women only because you're physically attracted to them. They did nothing to deserve that attention that you're giving them. Does it make sense? So one more time, when you give them comfort, you do things for them to build comfort when they deserve it. Say it to yourself. Remember the paradigm, the majority paradigm that most guys see is, I'm doing everything in the world I can to build attraction in this woman because I need to chase her. She's on a pedestal. When women say, oh, what do you bring to the table? A woman says, I am the table. There's a lot of women who believe this. They have a very entitled attitude. When you're dealing with that type of woman, she needs to do something to earn you building comfort with her. But until that, when we're in the early stages, it's only attraction. It's attraction. It's nothing but attraction. You sit there, you're talking to a girl, and then all of a sudden she stands you up. You know what you do? If she stands you up, you sit there and you post on your IG, hey man, I had a great time last night hanging out with my friends at whatever. You're on stage at some club. It doesn't even bother you. It doesn't even affect you. You don't even notice that anything happened. Why? Because that's what an attractive alpha male would do. He would not be affected or burdened. Often women will stand you up because they're trying to see how you react to it. And the answer is you just don't react to it at all. When you do that, you're building attraction. She's losing power, you're gaining power. When you give a woman comfort, which is what 95% of you guys do whenever you meet a woman, she's pretty, so you treat her different. When you do that, you're giving her power because you're building comfort, and you're losing power, okay? And this is a problem. A lot of guys do this. They immediately see a woman who's beautiful, and then they start flirting with her, and they think this is going to work. I got news for you. Flirting with a woman that you just met will work if she's already attracted to you. And like we just determined, unless you're incredibly good looking, most of the time, most women are not attracted to you. The top 10% of men on dating apps get 63% of the right swipes. The top 20% of men on dating apps get 83% of right swipes. So top 20% of men get about 80% of the attention from women. Most of you watching this, you're watching this because you aren't one of those guys who gets all that attention from women. So when you go into an interaction and you immediately tell a woman that she's beautiful off the rip, what you're doing is that you're playing against the odds. The odds are she's not attracted to you. Most women find most men to be below average attractiveness. 80% of men on dating apps, women find to be below average attractiveness. So you're sitting there shooting your shot because you saw some really charismatic or good looking guy do it in a movie, not recognizing that in reality, you have to build attraction. So what do you do? Those attraction triggers that I mentioned earlier in this video, you go back and listen to them. Those triggers are the things that build attraction. And when you do so, you're gaining power and she's losing power. So what I just kind of explained.
Again, I've never really thought of it like that, the gaining and losing power, but it's a thing. Now that I think about it, it's like, yeah. Why was I so successful when I was younger? I didn't care. Right now, when I talk to a woman, she's engaged with me. Would I say she's fine? Would I say she's beautiful? I never said beautiful. I'm like, girl, you're fine. But as I'm saying that, she's pressing herself up against me. She's already chosen me, bro. There's nothing that I can say to get her to do that, man. She's pressing herself up against me. Either forward, like she's putting the twins on me, or she turns around and she backs that thing up. And then she'll wrap my arms around her, or she'll do whatever. So I'm talking crazy. It is what it is, but she's already chosen me. You got to know that. You walk up on a woman who ain't really feeling you like that, you just call her beautiful and all that, man. That's not going to work. You know what I mean? And Cody, I ain't never heard Sartain say this. Stronger and tougher than men. I ain't never heard him say that. And when he was on that Access Vegas thing, he's got Rollo Tomasi right there next to him. I've never heard him say that. But yeah, his P-Star girlfriends be like, yes, queen. I've seen him throw a couple of his girls under the bus, metaphorically speaking. They'll say one thing about the kind of guy they want. Oh, I like the regular guy who's this, that, and the third. And then, start saying that, like, oh, no. He'll like, tell the truth. I've seen him get on the girls, like, tell the truth. That's not the kind of guy you deal with. And, like, I know where you were last night type stuff. Cause he knows these girls, they let the other girls be telling on each other. So he's like, I know where you were last night. And then those girls will get quiet. So I haven't seen him say that. If he does, then bro, I'm definitely gonna like, what are you doing, homie? We got brother man Joe in the building. What's good, fam? Yeah, man, what's good, fam? But the part about, being out here meeting women, it's hard, bro. And the vast majority of dudes are having trouble with it. Like you said, the guys who are watching this video are the guys who need the help. Right? I'm watching the video because I'm like, yeah, he's dropping facts. If you are trying to become seen by women, you want to get into that top 20 percentile that most women want, bro, you got a lot of work to do. You got a lot of work to do. And when you get there, you're going to take some knocks. Just because she see you doesn't mean she going to smash. You're going to take some knocks. It's hard, bro. It's hard to fight that instinct to be the Prince Charming, to sweep her off her feet, especially when you see a woman, you communicating with a woman you think is absolutely gorgeous. It's hard to treat her the same way you treated that chubby, that not even chubby, that fat girl. You know what I'm saying? Who was on that slow Tuesday with that you got shoved into your closet. You ain't going to treat them two women the same, and you should be. Your game should be the same no matter how fine she is, no matter how ugly she is or unattractive she is. Your game should be the same. It just should be the same. If you kicking it with a woman, you got a couple girls or whatever, and you invite her out somewhere and she doesn't show up, don't be mad. You shouldn't be there looking at your phone all night. Like you said, some women do that just to see how you act. Like, bro, I burn a number. When we were younger, if girl didn't call me back in a week, I threw her number away. Don't be asking me what to do, man. You call and she didn't call you back, man. Throw her number away, man. She ain't ready. I had my cousin get mad at me once. He had this dime. I'm like, man, F her, man. She playing. She playing games. So he threw her number away. A week later, she was calling. She was like, I lost your number. I just found it. And, trying to get a hold of him. I was like, my bad. But he bumped into her again. He wound up hollering at her anyway. It worked out, right? Because she saw him and ran up to him. Like, she wanted to make sure he didn't get away. Like, I'm sorry. So don't be calling girls. And like, if they don't show up, don't be, hey, where you at? Don't be doing none of that. I tell someone, like, pull up, you should pull up. Yo, hit me when you get here. And I do that so I can bring them to the sections. Or I do that so I can make sure I say hello. They done came all the way down here to see me. And you get girls that they won't show up. That's fine. I won't even reach out to them. About a month later, they'll hit you up on Insta. You know what I mean? Oh, hey, I'm so sorry. I didn't make it to so-and-so. I'm like, oh, that's cool. But it's like, it's been so long. It's like, well, which event was it? Right? Because now she's like, you don't even know. Like, look, I invite a lot of people out. So it's all good. We got another one coming up. I'll shoot you the invite. And in her mind, she's like, damn, this man ain't even chasing me at all. Right. So I'll do that and be like, all right, well, shoot, girl, I'll talk to you later. You take care. Bye. And this is all DMing. All right. I'll take care, girl. See you. Bye. That's it. And she know, like, damn, he ain't playing. So next time I have an event and send her the invite, guess who's there? Right. Especially if she says she's coming. So don't fall for that game. Again, that's part of their game, and they want to see where you at, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah, look at that old proverb. Look what Cody's saying right there, man. I never heard that one before. Learn her flaws, huh? Right. And a lot of this stuff, too, you'll realize as you're out here moving, doing your thing, you're doing your game, you don't have time to worry about what they thinking or why they acting this way. You're focused on what you're doing. You focused on your rotation. You focus on the next one up. You focus on, what you got going on. And they see that. And a lot of women, they'll see you with another woman smiling, having a good time. She in the section, she kicking or whatever, or whatever y'all doing, walking around the park, drinking Jamba juices, whatever. And that woman be like, man, that should be me. That should be me. Especially if the woman she's looking at is fine. She's like, I'm as fine as she is. I'm finer than she is. Now the competition done jumped off. It's not like you encouraging the competition. You gave her a shot. She chose not to. She chose something else. Now, women get to choose all these dudes. It's just a lot of them. They just want, they want to be chased. They want the attention. I'm not saying to deprive them of attention. I'm just saying if they're not with you, kind of treat them the way they treat invisible men. They become invisible women. Like, I ain't got time for this. You kind of got to do it that way.
Explain to you in a roundabout way is the game. And remember, you always have to play the game. Even if you don't want to play the game is real. It's like gravity. If you don't believe in gravity, go jump off of a cliff and see what happens. Just because you don't believe in gravity, you can't jump off a parking lot or jump off a cliff or say, I don't believe in gravity. You're still going to die. Gravity's real, even if you don't believe it. I know, shout out to all the flat earthers out there who don't believe in gravity. If you believe that gravity is, even if you don't believe gravity is real, it's still real. And even if you don't believe there's a game, you still have to play it. Okay, always remember that. If you guys have any stories in the comments, I got several more that I'm going to be telling here. You got some stories in the comments where you started treating a girl different just because she was attractive and you thought the game didn't count for her. Let me know. And those of you who maybe you've gone through a divorce or horrible breakup because you started acting different, you thought that she was different and that you didn't have to play the game anymore. Leave some comments down there. Maybe when you guys join the Men of Action, I would love to hear your stories. Guys, make sure you subscribe because I'm going to be doing way more videos about this. And please tell me what subjects you guys want me to talk about.
And that's pretty much it. I mean, he went on, just promoting his platform. I ain't gonna, hey man, shout out to Mike Sartain, man. I ain't gonna lie. I was with the majority of the stuff that he was talking about, right? We pointed out the things that I'm like, I don't know about that. Be careful with that. But the vast majority of what he was talking about, man, the story, the video started with him telling the story about this girl that he thought was so fine and he treated her different. And he winds up, she ODs on something in the club. He winds up white knighting, taking it, like calling an ambulance for her, getting her to the hospital, showing up at the hospital, making sure she's okay. And in his mind, he's like, this is going to put me on with her. We're going to live happily ever after. And a week later, he sees her at a club, lost track of her right away, couldn't find her in the club, and then finds out the next morning that the reason he couldn't find her in the club because his homeboy, one of the promoters, had her up in the club in a little loft spot or whatever, little VIP area, blowing her back out. Didn't even know her, just met her. Right? That was the good boy, which was Michael Sartain, versus the bad boy, which was his homie. And the homie wound up smashing. And that's when Sartain woke up. That's when he's like, man, enough of the pickup artistry, man, and all that. He woke up. And he's like, man, let me really start paying attention to what's going on. So that's what it is. Like, compliment her flaws, bro. I don't compliment her friends. Compliment her to her friends. That's what Kobe was saying earlier with that old proverb. I never heard that one before, man. But when you are the good guy versus the bad guy, the women tend to take the bad guys, bro. Good guys are boring. Don't want to bore a woman. Never want to bore a woman, man. You know what I mean? And bro, like the chivalry thing, man, that shit's dead, man. That shit's dead, bro. Whereas do not that bro, I'm telling you, man. It's just the whole dating thing has changed so much, man. So this is our red pill moment, man. The whole dating thing has changed, and it's just the game always goes through different changes, bro. It is what it is. You got to move with it. You got to flow with the punches, bro. If you don't, you're gonna get clobbered, man. That's what it boils down to. Women out here are saying they don't want men. They're talking all this nonsense, but at the end of the day, they do want guys. A lot of women are frustrated because they couldn't get the top tier guy that they believe they all deserve, right? That's their thing. They keep messing around with these F-boys. They don't realize that men at the top especially have no problem smashing and moving on to the next thing. No problem whatsoever. Shoot, I got to go. I got someplace I got to be. I lost track of time. I was supposed to end this at 6:30, guys. I lost track of time. I got something I got to do. Somewhere I got to go. Got to do some recon work and check something out for what we're doing in Ybor City at Trillis. So, and then tomorrow, of course, we have the comedy show we're doing tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm gonna start early, probably start around 4:00. Start early. I'm gonna end early. We got it because I'm gonna have to go set up for the comedy show. We do that once a month here at Trillis. It's gonna be fun. We're just doing an open mic. I got one of my homies coming in, is gonna close the show out. So I'm booking one good comic. So I know I know the end of the show is gonna be great. But we're gonna do the open mic up front. And we're going to try to build this thing up. So that's going to be the second Thursday of every month, the comedy show. And hopefully we'll be able to build that up to us a weekly thing. We're going to be doing jazz. We're going to be doing salsa. We're going to be doing trivia night. We're going to be doing so much. So I'm going to be busy at least once a week. I'll be doing an early show probably on a Thursday so I can get out and set up for our events. So just be prepared for that. Like I said, we're moving into 2025, man. We're going hard. We're moving in. We're going to go in hard and get going. No diddy on that, but we're going to get going. We're going to hit the ground running. We got some really cool stuff lined up in January. I definitely got some announcements we're going to be making, man. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. Hope you guys have a really good holiday. You know, we've already had Thanksgiving, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever it is, just celebrate, man. I hope you guys are celebrating it with your people. It's like, you're gonna start to promote your channel at these shows or what? Yes, like I said, all that is gonna be part of the January announcement, man. We're gonna be doing some things, bro. Like, I'm gonna announce in January, we're really gonna, step it up. I'm gonna step it up a bit. With the other things we got cooking, I think it's gonna work out for everyone, man. For everyone, bro. So we're gonna be doing some things, man. We about to get out there. Uncle Saint has been working real hard behind the scenes. Y'all know I network. Y'all know I'm out there. Been working real hard behind the scenes, man. We got some big plans for 2025. It's, I've been working with other folks and wanting to do some things. Now it's like, you know what? How about we just do it for us? How about we just go out here, kick it into gear, and see what we could do with our people, bro. So that's what we're about to go do, man. We about to go make it happen. Gonna announce in January after New Year's, bro. Gonna announce it. We got some stuff, man. I think you're gonna be proud of me, Cody. I think you're gonna be proud. I think all of you guys are gonna be proud. I think you guys are gonna be happy with what we're gonna be doing here, and we're gonna be making some moves. So I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll be on early. Remember, between about 4:00, we'll jump on. We'll do Trump Thursday, and we're gonna be talking about Syria. We're gonna be talking about Russia. We're gonna be talking about the CEO shooter. We're gonna be talking about that. And then I'll see you guys after that. So thanks for rocking out with me, guys. I really appreciate y'all, for real. It's always a pleasure. I'm DL Saint. This is I Really Want to Know podcast. If you're watching Team Replay, man, don't be shy. Put your comments down there, down below. We'll check them out. We're gonna link this video that we just watched to the comments as well. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
Darn, that's the end.